Hey, what's up boys and girls, PewDiePie. This video is a simple one. It's one that I've been wanting to do for the longest time. It is basically suggestions when it comes to balance for honor for pretty much all heroes. This isn't any crazy thing, this is some small stuff. It has nothing to do with reworks because the devs really just don't balance the game at all, only in the beginning of seasons, which I think is absolutely terrible. So here are some small balance changes that the devs should really make. As a signer for Warden, what my suggestion is to basically take charged shoulder bash. It's not his basic one, even though that one is still pretty broken. My biggest complaint really is the charged one. He guarantees 40 damage, which is very insane for the fact that you can feint it at any point. See, like I was at the very end and I could still feint it. So basically, my suggestion is either make it so that you can't feint it at the very end. Like if you charge it, you should commit to the full charge, you shouldn't just be able to feint it. Or make it so that if you actually let go and land it, it only guarantees the side heavy unless it's on a wall splat. If it's on a wall splat, you would actually get the top heavy. I don't know if that's actually easy to make, but honestly it's just such an easy move to spam. Also, even if the opponent dodges, let me test it right now, show you right now. I can see the charge makes it go super far, and in a lot of cases, even if the enemy dodges, they still cannot punish you. Okay, moving to Conqueror, my suggestion is basically make it so you cannot delay the bash, shield bash. So as you can see, you can delay it quite easily. You can either just go straight into it, or you can delay it, making it extremely bullshit when you're out of stamina. So my only suggestion is so that you cannot delay it. It's always like this. You know, it's the same thing as Warlord's headbutt. And the thing is, this move is not punishable by guard break unless you're too far away. Like if you're too far away, but the enemy dodging it will dodge sooner than your recovery. So only if the enemy is too far, this move is never punishable, besides dashing lights, for example, from the assassins, the dashing attacks from the assassins. Anything else, the move does not get any punishment. So really, you shouldn't be able to just delay it like this. Like you can do, and then you can do the full dodge, and then you can actually go for the shoulder bash, shield bash, and you can also just do the guard break. So it's insanely bullshit. The problem with the problem with Conqueror is that they made him even more one-trick pony. Like the devs say, oh, we don't want one-trick pony heroes, but they still make one-trick pony heroes. That alone will make him a little bit more fun to play against, but they would have to buff some aspect of his kit. Maybe his full block sense should go back into 300 millisecond startup instead of 400. I don't know. They should buff something on him, but nerf, for God's sake, nerf the shield bash, seriously. Going into Peacekeeper, my only big complaint about Peacekeeper is the fact that her heavies are pretty much light. Her side heavy deals a total of 31 damage. So it's 20 damage, blunt damage, and then 11 bleed damage. My suggestion is make it so the heavy deals 25 damage and then 6 bleed damage. That would make her a little bit more viable when it comes to getting execution. So her bleed light, the triple stab from guard break, deals a total of 30 bleed damage. 30. So my suggestion is that you could also get a heavy off guard break. Now this heavy would not be the normal heavy, it would be like some sort of new animation. So instead of stabbing with the dagger as she does, she would instead stab with the sword, and it would deal 25 blunt damage, you know, 25 damage in itself, and that would actually guarantee an execution. And the thing is, this wouldn't be a better move than the bleeds, but it would actually make her able to execute, because she's very hard to get executions with the new changes. So making her get a 25 damage normal attack off of a guard break would be very good. Now let's go to her chain heavy. It does a total of 36 damage with the bleed. So my suggestion is make it so that the normal damage that is 25 and then it's 11 bleed would be 28 normal damage and then what is it? And then 8 bleed. So normal heavy, the unchained heavy would be 25 normal damage, like actual damage, and then 6 bleed. And then the chained heavy would be 28 blunt damage and then 8 bleed. This would make her actually be able to deal some decent damage without having to resort to bleeds. That is my big idea. And also the guard break thing, where she would actually stab the opponent with her blade, dealing 25 damage. That heavy would not chain into anything. It's just so that she would actually have some good damage off of guard break instead of just spamming bleed. Like, if the enemy is almost dead, you could just do the guard break, heavy them, get the execution. It's just some quality of life change, basically, and it wouldn't be better than the actual bleeds, so I think it would be fair. Okay, going into Lawbringer, my biggest complaint is, and everyone else's complaint, is the block shove. So straight up, I want block shove to be removed, and dodge into shove to be buffed. So basically, block shove removed, so you can't just constantly be a turtle, because if the devs want to fix the turtle meta, they can have turtle attacks like this. You know, it's not really an attack, but you know, they can have turtle mechanics like this. Lawbringer is already very easy to turtle with his very good parry punishes. Oh my god, shut up, Dobany. Alright, so basically the dodge shove would be 500 milliseconds, and because it doesn't guarantee anything, it's either a light if you don't dodge, or a guard break if you dodge, or a heavy if you dodge in a direction that you're not blocking. So basically, it doesn't guarantee anything, so making it a 500 millisecond attack wouldn't be too much of a bad thing, I think. And also, because it has hyper armor, you could actually use a hyper armor for once. So you could actually trade from lights into another light from the shove. I think it's a good change. I like his light heavy chain. This is very good, and I also like his heavy into light chain, but I would like him to have a heavy into heavy chain. So basically, it would be a heavy, and then would be the unblockable, with the less heavy being an unblockable that deals 38 damage from the top stance and 33 damage from the side stances. I think that would be pretty balanced and would actually give Lawbringer some more mix-up potential. Also, forgot to mention on the Lawbringer, his running impale needs to be nerfed, obviously. With those buffs that I gave him, suggested, he really needs the running impale to be nerfed. So my suggestion is, as I'm going to talk about Warlord, all he needs to do is take one step. He can do the running impale, and there's also that bug since launch that he can do a 180 and impale you. So he's running away from you, and then he can 180 impale you back. So remove the 180 impale, and also make it so that you need to take like 3 steps while running, maybe, and then you can actually do the impale. And I think that would balance it out. Now, Centurion is one that I don't know what to actually change. I think Centurion is in a good place, even when people say, oh, Centurion is terrible. Here's the deal, Centurion is hard to master, but he actually is in a pretty good place. You can chip people into death, you can get an amazing parry punish and an amazing guard break punish. So honestly, I don't know what to change on Centurion. I think he's pretty good. He definitely lacks some things, but I don't know what to actually change, so that's why I'm skipping Centurion. So now I'm going to talk about Gladiator. Basically, my biggest complaint is his guard. It's not even the zone, it's his guard. I get it, he's meant to be an attacker and not a defender when it comes to playstyle, but you can't make a character unable to block. So in duels, I think he's in a decent place. But anytime you go into a 4v4 mode, he really is hard to play and really annoying to play. You are pretty much forced to play like a faggot because defensively you're really bad. That's why you need to resort to just spamming light, your 500 millisecond light, and then maybe going to unblockable, maybe going to heavy into toe step. So basically my suggestion is make his reflex guard exactly the same as Shinobi, so it's not 1000 milliseconds, it's 700 or 800 milliseconds, I don't know what it is on Shinobi, but make it the same as Shinobi. Next suggestion is make it so that the zone is not feintable, and also that the heavy that comes from the zone is a little slower, because right now if you dodge back and you don't have your guard on the right, you will still get hit by the heavy, which is, you know, bullshit, because the zone is already very difficult to dodge on reaction. So making it so that you can dodge back and still and still block it. Maybe not be able to parry it because, well, you still have a very big recovery, but make it so that the heavy can be blocked even if you dodge back. And I think that's pretty much the only big change I want for the zone. Also, make his lights faster, his chained lights. Right now they're 600 milliseconds, which is, you know, bullshit. No hero should have 600 millisecond lights. I'm pretty sure everybody can agree on that except console players, but I mean, that's the problem with having two different platforms and not having different balances for both platforms. So make his chain lights be 500 milliseconds, not even 400, because we don't want to have another Orochi. Make him 500 milliseconds and deal 13 damage or something like that, so they can actually be used. And right now, you do another light, you very easily get parry because it's 600 milliseconds. So just make them 500 milliseconds and deal 13 damage, maybe, I don't know. Now it's time for the Vikings. Let's begin with Raider. My only suggestion, I only have one suggestion for Raider. Give him a light heavy chain. Right now he has a heavy chain or a heavy light chain. That's amazing, I love that. But from light, all he has is other lights or his very stamina draining zone. Think that the stunning tap is a light. So basically this would be his new chain. You know, this would be his new chain. Basically, so he would have a light. I'm taking the stunning tap as a normal light, and then he would actually be able to feint and actually get some mix-up, because going straight into zone, that can be very easily interrupted. I don't really feel like that's fun or fair, and that's basically it. That's my only suggestion for Raider. He's in a decent place. On 4v4, his Stampede charge is crazy OP and broken, especially if you have another Raider. So just this suggestion alone would be, you know, very good. You know, just making so that he has a light heavy. Now, is it a light heavy or a light heavy light? I don't care. As long as Raider gets a light into heavy chain, I think Raider would be in a very good place. That's my only suggestion for Raider. So for Warlord, really what I want is Warlord to be like Jiang Jun. So right now he has a light heavy chain or a heavy light chain. My suggestion is make him have a light chain like he had in the beginning and a heavy chain. You really don't have to change much, just make it so that, you know, he has this heavy, the chain heavy from another heavy, and then you could actually do another heavy and light into another light. That's basically it. But you know, this would make him a little bit more versatile. It would make him a little bit more mix-up potential friendly thingy. I don't know what else to say. So to counter this, I think he should have a nerf on his crashing charge. So honestly, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that crashing charge is too easy. You can just pull it off by just taking one step. See, I took one step and I'm already doing it. I can also do a guard break. So honestly, make it so that you actually need to run to perform it. Because really right now, all you need to do is do one step. You know, if I delay it, I get a guard break. If I don't delay it, I get a charge. Basically, nerf this. Make it so he actually needs to run to perform it. Because right now, every Warlord in the duel just does this. And it's not fun to anyone, especially on maps with full of ledges. So give him a light chain and a heavy chain and nerf his crashing charge. Now it's time for Berserker, and I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that his light, his feint into light hyper armor needs to go away. A 400 millisecond light that can be delayed, making it 333 milliseconds. That has an interruptible stance. That is clearly unbalanced. So just remove the hyper armor from it so you can actually punish him from spamming this, because you know, him having hyper armor all the time, not fun for anyone. And I'm pretty sure that's it for actual balances. Then the other one is to remove revenge attack feats from Berserker. Right now he is the easiest character to get revenge with because of his zone attack, because it's 4 attacks in a row So if you have a revenge attack feat, you get revenge all the time. It's insanely easy with Berserker. So just get rid of that feat for Berserker. I think everyone else that has that feat is somewhat balanced for it. Maybe not Orochi, but I mean he doesn't really have that much punish from getting revenge. But Berserker does. I mean he has unblockables, he has fast attacks. So just remove that feat. And remove Hyper Armor from his Feint into Light. Now his Chain Lights, these lights keep the Hyper Armor, but the Feint into Light shouldn't have Hyper Armor. Alright, that's my general suggestion. So basically this would actually give some more mix-up to the fight, because if he's spamming Feint into Light, you could actually just do a Light to interrupt his Light. But if the Berserker knows you're going to do the light, he'll do a heavy instead. See, you would actually get some sort of mind game going on, instead of just being a Berserker spamming lights that cannot be interrupted all the time, which nobody really likes, I'm pretty sure. Especially not anyone on console. So that's my only two suggestions for Berserker. Remove the Hyper Armor from Feint into Light, but keep it on Chained Lights. And remove revenge attack feat from his feat. Now what feat would you add instead of that one? I don't know, but just removing that feat would be very nice. Okay, moving into Valkyrie, I don't really know. I really don't know. They really messed up her rework. Like, she basically is spam Shield Crush all the fucking time. And Shield Crush is a very easy move to spam because it doesn't really have any punish besides Assassin's dashing attacks. So honestly, I don't know how to balance it. How to balance Valkyrie. I think she's in a somewhat good place. She can turtle and she can also be aggressive. But she definitely needs some sort of change. I don't know exactly. I think she's in an okay spot. I don't really know what to change on her. Moving into Highlander. Same question. The problem with Highlander is the fact that he gets 40 damage unblockable. So my first suggestion is make it so that his Valor Might attack, the unblockable from an offensive form, only deals 35 damage. Now, it's a small change. Instead of doing 40, it would deal 35. This would be good because of gear. You know, if you have Revenge, it wouldn't do a shit ton more damage. And if you have feats on top of that, like, what's it called? Winner's Advantage. So with that feat, you deal a shit ton more damage. So really, just making so that he is unblockable, only deals 35 damage, would make him a lot more fun to play against. Because if people are constantly bashing you and staggering you, the Highlander can just keep getting those 40 damage unblockables in, and also kick you while you're getting staggered. And getting another 40 damage, so making it 35 damage would be very good. And also make it so that the kick into grab doesn't exist. Like, it doesn't even exist. Removing the kick into grab would be so good. Like, I would actually play Highlander if kick into grab was removed. Because right now, doing the kick in itself is already a 50-50. Wait, I have to say like 50-50. So honestly, removing the kick into grab would be marvelous. It would make it a lot more fun to play with and against, because right now people are like, either he's going to do a grab or he's going to go through the kick. So I might as well just dodge and roll away so that I don't actually have to worry about it. So having a move that forces the opponent to always dodge and roll, Warden shoulder bash, and it's not really fun. It's not fun at all to anyone. So just remove the kick into grab, soft feint. You counter this, make it so that he takes a lot less stamina. So Valor Might and kick and grab, all of that stuff actually requires less stamina. I think that would make him a lot more fun. Moving into Shaman, I don't know, honestly. I think she's in an okay spot. She's definitely not top tier anymore, but she's not trash tier. And I honestly don't know what to change on her. I think she's in a decent spot. I don't really know how to change her. I think she's fine. Nothing really necessary to change. The only thing, maybe make the bite deal a little bit less damage. Like, I think it deals 50, make it deal 40. I think that would make it a little bit more fair. But that would nerf her, and she really doesn't need nerfs because she's not really top tier. So I don't know. I think she's fine. not really anything to say about her. Okay, moving into Kensei. Honestly, I don't know. My only suggestion is make his zone not fucking teleport him to people. And that's it. His zone can just hit people from across, like, the point B on most maps. It's insane and broken. So just make it so that his forward tracking is a little bit shorter on his zone. So his dash light has a very good forward tracking, but not as good as his zone. So make his zone have as much tracking as the top dashing light. I think that would even him out. I don't think that he needs any big nerfs or buffs. I think he's somewhat fine as he is. Here we go, Shugoki time, baby. Alright, so I don't know if the devs are planning on doing big changes on a rework, but I think Shugoki is somewhat fun to play as because of his eye parameter. So getting rid of it would make him like not feel as Shugoki. So instead of me saying remove the hyper armor straight away and give him actual hyper armor on his attacks, I'm gonna suggest instead keep that, but the extra damage that you take wouldn't be removed. Like, it wouldn't take more damage if you don't have the hyper armor. You would still take more damage, but it wouldn't be, I think it's 25% more. It would just be like 10% more. So it's just a small little extra damage because he does have a lot of health, and it does make him a little bit more punishable if he doesn't have his hyper armor on, if he's not careful enough. On to actual changes. My first suggestion is so that his chain heavy could also be charged. So you can charge your heavies normally, but your chain heavies cannot be charged. My suggestion is make it so that his heavies can be charged, the chain ones. Now, would they be unblockable? Yes. If they're fully charged, they would also be unblockable. So basically, it would make him Centurion 2.0, kind of. So his chain heavies would be unblockable if they were fully charged, or semi-charged would be just blockable. You get the idea. It would just make him a little bit more mix-up, potential, friendly, thingy, whatever you want to call it. Alright, moving into Demon Embrace. If you miss it, you're gonna take a shit ton of damage. Like, way too much. So my suggestion is make it so that you don't take extra damage. You already have the problem of being disabled for a long ass time. How did I miss that? You are disabled for a long ass time already. So I don't think you need to take damage from it. Now, to balance this out, it would make it so that when you are critical health, you would not one-shot people. We can all agree that's bullshit, and that's not fair to anyone but the Shugoki, because, you know, Shugoki is trash. So just make it so that he doesn't one-shot people if he's critical health when he gets the wall splat into Demon's Embrace. That's not fun. But make it so that he doesn't also take damage from it, so he can more freely use it, and he would actually recover stamina from it. So right now, if you do it, you don't recover stamina at all. Like, you, throughout the whole animation, you will not regen stamina. You will not regain stamina if you hit it. So my suggestion is that he would actually get stamina if he hits it, and if he doesn't hit it, he will recover stamina just a lot slower. So he's not completely disabled from the fight. So small changes, but definitely welcome ones. They won't change him all that much, but if the devs don't want to fucking rework him, just at least do these small things to make him more playable, at least. So Orochi, I really don't know. He's not perfect right now because of light spam bullshit, and everything else on his kit is kind of like eh. So my only suggestion is make it so that his lights aren't as easy to perform, and bring back Riptide Strike as it was before, the back step into a heavy. But instead of dealing 40 damage, it would deal 35, and it would actually be feintable. I don't know, it's just a small change. So nerf his light spam. I don't know how. Nuxia deals less damage on her light spam, so maybe make it the same for Orochi. And bring back Riptide Strike as it was, but make it deal 35 damage or 33 and actually be feintable. This would add a little bit more playstyle to Orochi, I think. Moving on to Nobushi. Honestly, man, she's okay. Right now, she's very Kensei if you are smart. If you play like me and you just, or pretty much everyone else in the minion, and you just spam dodge and hidden stance and zone to kill minions, you're gonna do fine, and you can still be punished for playing like this. So honestly, Nobushi's in an okay spot. I don't feel like she needs any big nerfs or buffs, because if you nerf something on her kit, you need to buff something else, and I don't know what buffs to give her. So I'm not gonna suggest any nerfs, but she definitely needs some sort of nerf to her hidden stance, because it's completely, how do you say it, broken. You don't take any damage if you time things correctly, and you don't take any punishment for it if you time things correctly, if you play smart. So she definitely needs some tweaks on hidden stance, but then you'd actually need to buff something else to make her more fun to play with without swinging hidden stance. So I don't know what to change on her exactly. Okay, moving into Shinobi. Now I think I don't need to show any gameplay. I can just talk over. So first change: make that the double lights, instead of dealing 24 damage, they would deal 18 damage as Warden's one deal. So if Warden only does 18 damage from his double lights and he has to worry about switch guard delay, why does Shinobi, who doesn't have switch guard delay, have the ability to do 24 damage from double lights? Honestly, that's bullshit. So make it his double lights deal only 18 damage, so his normal light would deal like, I don't know, 12, and then his chain light would deal 6. Basically the same as Warden's double lights. Now, of course, I have two suggestions. Make it so that his range guard break does not ignore revenge slippery effect. So right now, if you're doing attacks in revenge and someone tries to guard break you, they'll whiff it. If you're in a startup and someone tries to guard break you, they'll whiff it. Shinobi's range guard break ignores that, and it works like if the opponent is not in revenge. So if you're in startup, or if you're in the middle of an attack and you're just going into the recovery, Shinobi's range guard break will not hit the opponent until they're in recovery, and if they're on startup, it will hit them instantly. It's hard to explain, but basically it just pretty much guarantees the range guard break if you time it correctly. So if you do it as the opponent is hitting the recovery frames of their attack, if you throw the range guard break, it's guaranteed. If they are about to start an attack and they're in startup and you throw the range guard break, it's guaranteed. They cannot counter it. So make it so that his range guard break does not ignore slippery effect. As they're not really big nerfs, because it doesn't really change much of his playstyle, I would actually want to nerf his backstep, but because backflip, but that would actually be a very painful nerf for Shinobi. And I don't know what to buff on him, so I'm not going to suggest any backflip nerfs. I'm just going to suggest these two nerfs that don't really change much of his playstyle. It just makes him less spam friendly, basically, and less cheesy and easy to play. Now it's time for Aramusha. Honestly, I don't know, man. I love Aramusha as he is right now, but I hate him as well. I mean, look at him. He's so sexy. He looks so good. So he really does need some sort of buff. He really does need some sort of new mechanic. I don't know what to change on him exactly. He's kind of competitively viable if you learn his tricks. Like if you have some good reactions, you can play with weapon blockade. He's actually very decent, and he's actually kind of like B tier somewhat. But for most players, he will actually be hard to play. And you also have that problem with his light spam on console against assassins. Gladiator cannot block his lights for the longest time, and if you catch someone unlocking on you, like if they unlock to run away from you, Aramusha can just annihilate you, guaranteed damage for days. It's honestly very terrifying. Okay, we hit the end of the video. Congratulations, you made it this far. Whoa, impressive. So, I've been recording for 50 minutes, which is interesting. This was a very long video, but I think all the changes that I suggested were pretty fair. If the devs just want to keep delaying changes, nobody is gonna be happy. So, making small changes throughout the seasons, and they don't even have to be permanent. Like, they can just make small changes. If the community likes them, they can keep them. If the community doesn't like them, they can just, you know, press go back, oh shit, people didn't like it. So I think that these changes are pretty fair and balanced and quite small and easy to achieve. So I think that the devs can manage this. I hope the devs actually watch this video. Also, don't worry, when the new season comes, I'll make sure to make a video on the perks. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be hundreds of other people doing that, but I'll also make it because, well, I need video ideas, and that's a good idea for a video. Also, a friend of mine, Console Freaked, wanted me to make an ad, and I'm basically advertising his video on the Shugoki. I actually haven't seen it myself, so maybe I'm doing a bad thing advertising it, but either way, I'm gonna link it on the description and also on the end screen annotations. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any rants to talk about or on my suggestions or on suggestions of your own, make sure to tell me in the comments, because that's what this is all about. It's about balancing heroes. It's about discussing the current meta of the game. So I think that it would benefit everyone if you just do some rants in the comments, talk about it, and hopefully the devs pick up on this video and actually take some of the suggestions. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you on the next one. See you later.